Hey everybody, it's time for more Hiveswap, and as such, we're gonna play some. But real quick before I get started, I'm gonna tell you guys about this charity we have coming up on the 20th of July to the 22nd of July. It is the big charity event that Vinesauce.com, the streaming group I'm associated with, and my friends do every year. It's for PCRF, the Pediatric Cancer Research Foundation. They're super cool. They spend most of their money on the actual stuff you'd want versus advertising and stuff like that, which is maybe why you haven't heard of them. But if you like St. Jude's, they're like that, except for better because they spend less of their money on advertising and more of their money on making sure kids don't have cancer. And I've been in a super fuck cancer kind of mood recently. I'm going to try and keep my mood high. Things have been rough. As far as that goes, but fuck cancer. Anyway, come on, swing by. Even if you can't donate, just being a body of somebody who's watching improves the channel ranking on Twitch. Normally, not something I care too much about. It's nice to see interactions with chat, but when it comes down to that's the difference between someone who has maybe a shit ton of money and just wants to donate it somewhere, sees the stream and not. It's a little bit more important when it involves kids with cancer. So if you can, drop by. Anyway, Volume 7. Ever since you were a kid back on Earth, you always held the deep, close wish that one day you would travel the world. You wanted to see new places, experience new and exciting tastes and altitudes and temperatures, maybe even go scuba diving. I've never desired to go scuba diving, I'll be honest with you. The only exception to that rule would be if, I did the Captain Nemo thing, and I just said, fuck the world, and I had a submarine, and I was, doing the 18th century fox hunting thing, but instead of foxes, it's, fish and dolphins. Because I guess that's what you do if you live in a submarine and you've decided to scorn the world and live as, an anarchist who, also is a cultured man who digs up treasures and shows them off to the random people he has, the whole after rereading that, dude was kind of it seemed the main character seemed like he was kind of gay for Captain Nemo. Reread that now that you're older. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Main character seems kind of gay for Captain Nemo, and to be honest, Captain Nemo is kind of goals. Dude's awesome. I'd live in a submarine and say fuck the world. That's always been my backup strategy. If streaming doesn't work and art doesn't work, I'm gonna just buy a submarine or make a submarine and just be an asshole in the ocean and destroy people and scuba dive for fish. It's pretty much that is, I would say, the tiers of goals. Not necessarily in that order, but those are top 3 dreams of mine. Artist, streamer, asshole who lives in an ocean, in a submarine. You never imagined that you'd actually get the chance. Dracula, that's another one. I'd totally be a fucking Addams Family Dracula kind of dude. I'd be fine with that. Optimally, all 4. Be a streamer, artist who lives in a submarine who's decided to scorn the world and is also Addams Family-ish. Aesthetic as fuck, man. Aesthetic as fuck. You never imagined you'd actually get the chance. The kind of cool stuff just didn't happen to someone like you. Well, you're finally getting your wish. It's just totally on a totally different world. Funny how life turns out. When you get back to Earth, well, you don't want to think about that. Who knows if that'll ever happen. You've really chilled out recently. You found your place in the universe, drifting from friend to friend, adventure to adventure. It's the only way to live. So we got our 2 options. Both of these look like how you'd run a monk in D&D. Either the dex build or the strength build. Both, I'm betting, will kill me. Or try to. I'm stereotyping a bit here. I found that anyone green blood or below is chill. Blue blood higher is generally not chill. Green is kind of iffy territory. Someone was like, oh, you're rust blood, so when you say stay in your fucking bracket, then no one's in your bracket. I feel like if you're red or yellow blood, you're not really that much of an asshole. Like, you're used to getting shot up and bombed and all of that. So, like, fuck it, right? When you're blue blood, everyone's trash but you. And everyone can die. So it's like, fuck you. Also, someone responded to my message when I was like, why didn't they just start a revolution? They're like, everyone's afraid that they're going to get killed if they do. What the fuck is the difference? The fuck is the difference? You get murdered anyway. Just do it. That's how I'd start a revolution, by the way. You're going to get fucking killed anyway. Just do it. It's like Nike. Except for not. Anyway, I'm going to go with this girl because she's like all smiling and nice, which means that she's definitely going to murder me. You've wandered into a part of town that seems to have some culture going on. There are bright neon lights, and you can't read what the sign says, but they look like arcades and a performance space that looks like a movie theater and perhaps a more indie-oriented compared to the mall cinemas that you've seen before. As you continue wandering, you come across a trendy-looking building with a placard outside that shows a little cartoon doodle of a fancy waiter holding up a stack of trays. You can't read what the words say, but you recognize the intergalactic signal for free food inside. Come on in. Oh, no. You head inside, and it appears to be an art gallery. It must be opening night, because there's festival decorations up, and a little table offering drinks and hors d'oeuvres. You fucking surprised that I pronounced that right, aren't you? You're a bitch for being surprised. I'm cultured as shit. There's so many other art appreciators here, and your adrenaline spikes when you realize that most of the trolls milling about are purple bloods. You're not sure if some paintings and snacks are worth the high chance of being maimed with chaotic violence breaks out, but you're debating the merits of free food versus probable entry when somebody approaches you. You don't look like my other patrons. Are you lost? Lost? Why are you throwing an E on there? From Melly? Are you perhaps looking to start collecting? Are you loaded, ignoring the first question? Art is for everyone, after all, regardless of your blood color. The 4 black pupils in her giant eye glint and sparkle. You're not sure if it's menacing or friendly sparkle. It's menacing. It is a menacing sparkle. She grins at you and shows you all of her teeth. So what do you think of the art? Have any paintings caught your eye? You look around. You don't know much about art. I fucking do. But you are a nerd, and a lot of the paintings here remind you of scenes from popular movies and games back home. It's her work, so do I want to insult someone who's in a blood caste like 8 higher than me? I'm considering Russ to be like several castes below at actual like rank, because the chance that I'll actually have friends, not high. That's not going to be the right answer. Troll Mona Lisa is not going to be chill. Neither of these answers are chill. She's going to murder me. You know what? Let's just get it out of the way. You clearly know nothing about art, pleb. If you don't like it, there's the door. Make room for someone with money to burn and better taste. Yeah, okay. It was derivative, though. I mean, I've seen all of that shit before. Just straight up, I have. Also, someone mentioned that I misgendered the streamer. My bad. Not my intention. I mean, I know it's like a video game character, but like some of you guys aren't video game characters, and so it matters to you. So, also, some of you guys have shit parents who don't treat you with respect. So, fuck them. Does that count as an apology? That's what I was going for. Anyway, the artwork is stunning, perhaps the best I've ever seen. Troll Mona Lisa who? Haha, stop, you're flatterer. She puts her hand on her hip and winks at you, though you're guessing here that she doesn't actually want you to stop. You're also making the connection that she seems to be the artist who painted all of these. You sense opportunity for friendship, so you lay it on thick and gush about how talented she is. Huh, I thought you looked like another dumbass when you walked in, but you've got good taste after all. Let me show you around. Why is she throwing E's on the end of random words? Is she French? Is that a French thing? Rommel? Do I just not pronounce the extra E? Like it's a French word? Is that how you pronounce French words? Anyway, you fall swinging by the table to get some free food first. It's pretty good by the standards you've come to expect on Alternia. But wait, you thought it was wine at first glance is actually Fago. No thanks. You may have noticed some of the themes in my exhibited work. I don't love clowns or gore as much as it may seem. It's just what I have for sale here. If you looked at my work online, you'd see a more full range of art. But for this fancy gallery shit, Purple Bloods are some of my best customers. These clowns fucking love art. They're rich as fug. Fuck. Fugue. And they'll buy art as long as it's violence enough or features religious themes. You've seen the kind of destructive and mayhem that Purple Bloods are capable of, so you're surprised that she doesn't seem to mind being crowded in a gallery with so many of them. Most other trolls you're interacting with have done their best to steer clear of the clown murder cult guys. At least those that have a hate romance relationship isn't on the table. Isn't it kind of dangerous to actively court them for her audience? Oh sure, they can be unpredictable, but keeping them happy requires schmoozing. Occasionally I have to pretend like I've drunk the Fago and pull some religious references out of my ass. There's nothing that I can't handle. You make a lot more money as an artist if you're not so choosy about what you draw. True? Generally staying apolitical is a really solid way to be an artist, but if you want to make money, but also a really disappointing and boring way to be an artist. It's like, let me express my opinions without expressing any of them. Or just being a completely vapid and boring individual. So yeah, go for it, bro. Again, bro looks like a chick, but I'm gonna say bro just because it's gender non-specific. Fuck it, man. Honestly, bro and dude are non-gender specific in my eyes. One of my customers is a blue blood moron who only ever gets commissions from me to draw low bloods in quadrants with other low bloods. Kinky. I've got him convinced that I've got a deal on his rate when he's actually paying 5 times what I charge anyone else. Point is, artistic integrity is for chumps. If you want to get ahead in the world, give people what they want first. That strikes you as a depressing outlook on the creative process, but you're aware by now that idealism on Alternia tends to lead to shorter lifespans. You have to admit, looking around at the crowd in the gallery, her cynical approach seems to be working. You tell her that that sounds pretty business savvy in addition to being talented, and she winks at you again. Thanks, I know. Because I made bank doing shit like this, I'm able to fund my passion projects. You really should check out my webcomic. Before you can find out what her webcomic is about, she notices another troll that has been sliding up to you. As she approaches, she whips out what looks to be a small recording device with a smile. Romeo's face goes carefully blank and she crosses her arms over her chest. How can I help you? Journo. Hello there, Miss Namek. I'm with Alternia Nightly. I must say that it looks like since your first ever gallery exhibit has been a smashing success so far. The journal has syrupy tone and innocuous. Words don't seem... I'm just gonna make a joke, but I'm like, I don't fucking know what that says. Innocuous. I think that's innocuous. Words don't seem threatening to you, but when you're picking up on some of tense vibes from Romele, whose hair ribbon swings forward in front of her face aggressively. Of course it's a success. I'd never expect otherwise. Maybe not. But some of the artwork have expressed surprise at the timing of this. Some have called it bold, considering that you're currently in the middle of a plagiarism controversy. No shit? Would you care to comment on the case against you by Trident Media? Instead of being caught off guard by the question sprung on her, Romele relaxes and laughs. Oh, that. As if it has any kind of real evidence that I'm violating their precious intellectual property. All the characters I draw and profit from are entirely original. Trident Media and the Legislator are just mad about it because the whole internet knows that my storylines are better than the source material. Oops, I mean better than unrelated creative works that my comics happen to bear a superficial resemblance to. Feel free to quote me on that. Is this like a reference to something? Or is this just like journal, webcomic artists being dickholes? Is that a thing? I don't read many. Tilda does. She reads a lot of mangoes and animus and reads those webcomics that the kids are all about nowadays. Anyway, the reporter takes the quote and scuttles away. Romele seems unbothered, but you can't help but feel concerned for her. Copyright infringement is serious business. Is her new friend in legal hot water? Nah, Alternia barely has any copyright protections to speak of. It's just that little pest Gorjek trying to stir up shit as usual. The company behind his lawsuit wouldn't even care if he hadn't got involved. It's no big deal, nothing I can't handle. You go back to following her around the gallery, keeping your distance from whatever purple bloods come up to compliment her on her work. You can tell, despite her confidence and attitude, Romele is still thinking about that journalist. She taps her foot and frowns at the paintings whenever there's a lull in conversation, throwing glances at the door that the journalist left through. You know, it's not like Alternia has free press or credible newspaper. That reporter was probably hired by someone with a grudge to dig up dirt on me. I don't think it was Gorjek, actually. Too obvious, amateurish. No, the sinks of my competition, the artistic establishment, thinks that all I do is fan art and I shouldn't be taken serious as an artist. All of their paintings are in museums across the street, and they hate that I've managed to put my own exhibit. A stuck-up, pretentious bulge scrups. Are you going for bourgeoisie? I've been trying to sabotage me for so long. She turns to you, her hand balled up in a fist, and the X in her eye flashing with passion. I've been waiting for the opportunity to strike back at them. If everyone is going to accuse of me being a thief and a hack anyway, I might as well steal from them for real. But their security is tight, and I have an accomplice. I haven't had an accomplice until now. What do you say? You want to help me pull off a risky art heist? No! Yes! Romele does one last round around her exhibit, saying goodbye to the patrons and grabbing her bag, which seems to be mostly art supplies as you head out the door across the street. We're dead. We're gonna die. I'm going to die. The museum that she wants to rob is at the end of the block. It's much bigger and fancier than the one you just walked out of. All the lights are off inside. Doesn't have any signs of advertising current exhibits. We can do this one of two ways. Follow that journalist and steal the keys if she has them on her, or break in without them. I mean, worst case scenario, we mug someone who's an asshole to you and get nothing out of it. And if I'm your friend, then mugging someone who's been an asshole to you seems ideal, so let's do that. This also seems safer, relatively. You would much rather watch through an unlocked door than try and burst it down, and the reporter is still in sight, turning the corner down the street. You try to imitate Remelade's casual yet confident way of walking, like she could just blend in anywhere and pull off anything, but despite your best efforts not to attract suspicion, you keep getting looks. Not being the same species as everyone else around you tends to make you stand out. Shit, this could be a problem. I can put a disguise on you. I can put together... No, that's spelled right, as far as she's concerned. For you, hang on. You watch as she starts to pull things from her bag, and she seems to have all sorts of things in there. Paintbrushes and blobs of clay and paint. You think that she might be putting together some fake corn screens to scratch real quick. But before she can finish, you realize that one of the purple bloods about to walk into Romele's gallery is staring at you. He looks vaguely familiar, and you realize a little too late that you've met him before when he starts walking towards you. Oh, I remember when you broke into my apartment. When did I do that? Oh. It's the same troll that you and Polipa escaped from. You back away as he advances, a lazy grin on his face, Rumile glances from him to you and back to him again. Well, fuck. Looks like I'm not going to have an accomplice after all. Sorry, pal. She hoists her bag over her shoulder and shrugs her hands. What can you do kind of gesture. Then she's gone. The purple blood guy paying her no mind as she absconds. You want to feel betrayed, but it's hard to blame her considering how scary this guy is. In your heart, you know you're dead already, but you're not going to accept your fate without attempting to prevent it. You make a mad dash to escape, sprinting down the skinny alleyway, and thinking that maybe you can scamper up a fire escape or something. Unfortunately, your attacker's size doesn't seem to slow him down, as you can hear his heavy footfalls right behind you. He laughs. I'm gonna have to look and see who Polypa was, because I don't fucking remember that shit. That was like weeks ago. He laughs and somehow sounds dopey and dumb and completely terrifying at the same time. You make it into a back alley, but you fucked up because it's a dead end and you don't see anything you could use to clamber up onto higher grounds. You turn to face him, hopelessly sinking down onto your toes. Scrappy alien tenure on this hazardous new planet is about to make a messy end. Purple Blood swings his massive club lazily in one hand as he approaches you, not bothering to run anymore. You drop into a frightened crouch, trying to think back to your 3rd grade karate lesson for any moves that might be useful. But before he can crutch your skull, you see a flash of movement behind him. He staggers, dropping his club as something hits him from behind. As much as I appreciate inspiring my fans, I'm going to have to ask that you not interpret my art so literally, as in no murdering. Rumile springs off the troll's back after clawing him and rolls to the side, avoiding his swinging fists. She grabs... how are we gonna get murdered now? We're gonna get still murdered, but it's gonna be different now. She grabs her club, which is almost as long as she is tall. Before she can use it, the next blow catches her below the ribcage, sending her flying across the alley and into a brick wall. She's on her feet fast, but you can tell that she's injured, and now she doesn't have the element of surprise on her side. The Purple Blood turns his back on you as he closes on Remoulade. I'm gonna say Remoulade. I don't know if that's a thing outside of Texas, but it is a thing here. I kind of sort of like it on burgers. Like jalapeno remoulade. Is that how you pronounce that? It's fucking good. It's like kind of hoity-toity, but there's a place in town that serves it that way. It's like not my favorite, but it's still pretty alright. It's like that and bison. Kirby. Kind of a shitty burger place. It's more of a diner. And diners don't make good burgers. But every now and then we need food and it's like 12 at night and Kirby Lane's there. It's sort of like a higher class Denny's. But still there's like a lot of random drunk people, but there's also hippies there. Just so you know what Austin's like. It's like Denny's, but there's also hippies there. That sounds right. Yeah, that's right. Denny's. Laughing in, you can't help but let him kill her. No, you can't let him kill her, but not when she came back for you. But you have no idea how you can help here. Your eyes land on Rumile's bag, tossed aside in the melee. In desperation, you grab a loose paintbrush that rolled out of it. You dive forward with a battle cry and stab the end of the paintbrush into the... I'm holding a brush right now. That is not something you can do. Like, I'm stabbing myself with a paintbrush right now, and I have no holes in my body that I didn't have before. Violent blood squirts. I mean, you know, this is this place, so maybe just to make it so you could get paint easier, you can just straight up stab people for it. I don't know. He yells, and you manage to avoid rolling away just to avoid getting smacked. Close enough. A slight stab wound hasn't slowed him down much, but it's given Remoulade a chance to dive out of his range, and while he's still trying to grab you, she gets a hold of the club again. She's stronger than she looks, strong enough to get a good wind-up down on that thing, and when he turns towards her, she brings it down hard onto his skull. It takes a few more good smashes before the troll finally stops groaning and twitching. Remoulade breathing heavily, wiping blood splatter off her forehead. She looks up, meeting her eyes. You're absolutely positive that this is the most dramatic way you could have ever been rescued, and can't believe that she came back and risked her life for you. Don't mention it. I need an accomplice, right? She drops the club and staggers over to you, pausing to spit out cerulean blood. You remember that she took some damage and hurry to support her, offering your weak human arm to lean on. Is she going to be okay? I'll be fine. Ceruleans are tough to cull, even for wannabe subjugulate. Is that like Juggalo? Of course it is. She tilts her head and looks down at the way the purple blood swirls with the larger quantities of purple blood. The way her blood swirls with the larger quantities of purple blood pooling on the asphalt. It's actually not as bad of an artistic medium. The colors and textures work quite well together. Maybe that blue blood kid from Chitter has onto something. Anyway, thanks for having my back with that paintbrush. That took some quick thinking. We make an okay team. I've never killed anyone before, but it kind of ruled, didn't it? You're not sure you would choose those exact words, but you're pretty relieved right now. You might not have the bloodthirsty glint in your eyes that Remoulade does, but you can interpret your adrenaline shakes as an euphoric overload or something. Hell yeah, me too. I can see why people get into this killing business. If I wasn't such a great artist, I'd consider switching careers. Same, I guess. But sometimes when you're good at too many things, you have to pick one and stick with it. So no professional assassinations for me. I realize that I've fucked up most of this, and I'm sorry about that. But like, just not quite sorry enough to redub this. Like, I think it's better to just watch me stumble about and be an asshole and an idiot. I think that's why you're here. You don't come here for me being able to read things. If you've watched all of these other episodes and at this point you're like, oh, this asshole, he can't read? Fuck him. Fuck that guy. Like, if you've gotten to this point and you've decided that, then, I mean, alright. I'm still determined to rob the shit out of my competitors, though. And you, now that we've killed someone together, it just makes sense for us to stay partners in crime, right? Your heart leaps to the implication that she wants to stick together. You truly do not mind breaking every law in the book if it means that she'll be your friend. We've already murdered someone, so in for a penny, in for a pound. Fuck it, let's kill some people. Or rob a place. I guess we can rob a place now. Nice. We probably don't need to go around breaking every law. I just want to steal some art. Maybe we can reschedule the heist for another day. The neighborhood will be crawling with drones as soon as they realize the High Blood was killed. You feel bad about this troll attempting to slaughter you ruined Remoulad's gallery opening. Oh, are you kidding me? My customer base loves this kind of shit. My art will get even more violent reputation when the word gets out that someone died at my first gallery show. That's metal as fuck. It is metal as fuck. And you know what? No one died at my gallery openings. Like, I've had a couple. No one's died yet. Show up to my gallery show. Next one I have, and I will personally murder you on the spot if you wish. Not actually. That's not a big threat to 30-something thousand people that are watching this. Well, I mean, you know, if it actually gets sent to your inbox, which it isn't going to be. So, that's not a vague threat to all Homestucks. I will not murder you on your bequest. Or behest. I think it's behest, isn't it? Anyway. You limp out of the, I don't know why I had to clarify that. Like, I don't think any court of law will ever think that I actually meant that. But I clarified it anyway. Just in case. You limp out of the alley, supporting Remoulade with your arm around her waist. She directs you to the back of the entrance of the gallery where the two of you can clean off your blood and hide until the drones and the crowds are gone. If you don't mind, you can lie low at my... If you don't mind, you can lie low at my place for a few days while we plan the heist. Might as well get some work done while we wait for the scheme. That fight was pretty inspiring. You're already my accomplice, so how would you feel about also being my muse? So she is a psycho out to murder, but in my favor, I'm not the one getting murdered. for now.
So that works out.
Anyway, next episode will come out tomorrow. If you haven't watched, I started redoing, or I started back at My Summer Car again, and I'm also doing House Flipper. I think both of those are fucking great streams. My Summer Car is like 40 fucking episodes long or whatever, so you have some stuff to watch. It should appear on screen now, like bing! Also, PCRF, don't forget, 20th to 22nd of this month, fucking show up and help out kids. Fuck cancer. See you guys later.